I finally watched Mission Impossible for the first time. And let me start off by saying watching movies that came out in like the VHS era on streaming services, it's so interesting to me. I'm not calling it old. The movie came out in 96. I was born in 96. I'm not saying it's old, but it's just, I don't know. I couldn't help but think about how, like, I was like, this was on VHS and now it is just streaming digitally on this 42-inch TV that I'm watching. Crazy. Um, has a lot of character. The cross fade for scenes fade to black. I thought that that's a characteristic of movies that they don't really delve into very much anymore. But we start off, the mask off that I've always known from Mission Impossible. That's one of the things, the tropes. They get right into it from the jump. I didn't realize that. Uh, the team, the team, you get them in the beginning only to just lose them. Jack hurt me. I had to pause it for a second because I was like, man, Jack was cool. They really did Jack like that quickly. And you're following Ethan. They think he's the mole, and the reason that the entire team gets killed. I don't feel like I need to do a spoiler alert. This movie is almost 30 years old. But and then one of the things that they hold on to you is that Ethan was the only one of his team who survived, which is why he seemed the most likely to be the mole. And you hold on to that throughout the movie. But like when Claire shows back up, it's like, what do you mean you lived? You were in a car that was supposed to have exploded. And another thing with Claire, I don't know if it's because of the actor who played Jim. I'm sorry, I can't remember his name right now. But him being married to Claire was not believable to me. I maybe it's because like when I saw him, I'm like, he seems so much older than her, whereas she seems closer to Ethan's age. And then that being the whole thing of like using her to kind of distract Ethan with her feminine wiles. I don't really know. But overall, it's so interesting. You got that dramatic irony of we now know who the mole is when Ethan doesn't. But it's also like he should clearly know that it's Jim because, again, what do you mean you survived the gunshot? And that was also hilarious. To know that Jim did the gunshot tape like this with his own was so hilarious to me. And I love the helicopter fly into the tunnel with the train. Literally no train tunnel would be big enough for that. But overall, I enjoyed the movie. Had a lot of character. The suspenseful scene of like, we can't trigger the alarm. Ben Rames and Jean Reno, they look the exact same as they have in every movie I've ever seen them in. Enjoyed seeing them. And it was so interesting even for that to be like, Claire brought in Krieger, and Krieger was the one who was helping from the beginning. So overall, I enjoyed it. It was very much, you saw it coming, especially once Jim came back. And then it was like the way they tried to play it, like Claire should have been a part of it, but maybe she wasn't. What do you mean? She had to be a part of it. It didn't make sense that she lived and just came to the spot. And we knew Ethan didn't do it. So, R.I.P. Jack. And I'll be watching Mission Impossible 2, hopefully tonight. I'll report back whenever I can.